Now that we're in Olympic year, it's almost impossible to switch on the TV, radio or log on to the internet without encountering stories or messages about the Games. Whilst staging the biggest show on earth will dominate UK worldwide media coverage this year, the Olympics represents one of the biggest, if not the biggest, peacetime challenge that UK policing has ever faced, both in terms of the scale of our operations and the scrutiny and assurance of the planning. There are limitless numbers of facts and figures about the Olympics, and I know my colleague Sean will cover probably some of those. There's loads I could quote, but just to focus on some of the key national safety and security headlines. We're talking about a safety and security budget that's been put forward of around 600 million. The operation will involve all 52 UK police forces. Approximately 12,000 officers will be deployed on Olympic duties on the peak period, and that will be supported with the security guard force stewarding in the region of 22,000, plus the military reserve force that I'm sure you've seen and heard about in the media recently. Given the unprecedented scale of the operation, GMP, in common with all UK police forces, has signed up to the National Olympic Safety and Security Strategy. Essentially, this is an agreement between the police service and the Home Office which sets out the policing style for the Games and the operational principles to ensure a consistent approach around the UK, giving clear areas of responsibility. The key message is that the Olympics is a sporting event, not a security event. That might come as a surprise, obviously, when you just sort of heard the numbers and figures that I've just mentioned. The other key concept is national coordination with local policing. This means that our colleagues in the Metropolitan Police Force in London have the added responsibility of coordinating the planning across all UK police forces to ensure consistency. However, the Olympic venue policing operations around the country will be run by the local police forces. We have a better understanding of our communities and existing working relationships with local partner agencies who are also key to the success of our Games operations. So why do we need to mount such an extensive policing operation? What's the threat? Whilst you'll appreciate that we can't go into great levels of detail here, I can say that at present there are no specific threats to the security of the Games. However, this picture could change at short notice. And the main types really of threat incidents that we're planning for that could pose a threat to the Games. Obviously, number one, terrorism, public order. Having said that, we don't expect large numbers of football hooligans to be connected. I can't see many North Korean fans travelling across to go watch their Games. Crime and non-security related threats such as heatwave or industrial action. Our plans are designed to address these key threats. There is a national, regional and local Olympics intelligence cell in place to identify and research threats to the Games, and our plans are sufficiently flexible to increase levels of security in response to changing threat situations. So far, I've talked mainly about how the Olympics impacts on national policing, but I'm sure you're more interested in Olympic activities in Greater Manchester and the operations that Greater Manchester Police are planning and will be mounted to ensure a safe and secure Games period for all local communities. The planning of such a series of high-profile events draws on many different areas of expertise from across our force. In common with our largest pre-planned event operations, such as the party conferences that take place across the road at Manchester Central, we've formed a small planning team dedicated to the Olympic Challenge. This team are responsible for coordinating subject matter experts in approximately 20 different business areas and police disciplines, as you can see on the screen behind me. For our operations to be effective, the plans from each of these disciplines need to integrate seamlessly within GMP. We also need to work with the Met Police in London to ensure national consistency of those disciplines that require it, so that policing UK delivers a consistent look and feel. It's a really important mission. We also need to ensure that our event policing plans integrate with the event organiser, LOCOG, and our local authority partners, and that our contingency plans integrate with our partners in the Greater Manchester Local Resilience Forum. The first challenge that our teams in GMP have to contend with, in common with all UK police forces, is providing resources to support the national policing operation. This is through a process known as mutual aid. Most of the talk in the media is about about supporting policing in London, which is after all where the majority of Olympic events are staged. However, there are some significant events being staged in some of the UK's smaller police force areas, such as Thames Valley for the rowing, canoeing and Dorset for the sailing. GMP will be providing mutual aid to the Mets in London, Surrey, Dorset and British Transport Police. Now, whilst these deployments are spread over a 2-month period from July to September, the peak period of activity runs from mid-July to mid-August, and we'll see approximately 200 specialist and non-specialist officers working and being accommodated by those forces at any time from periods of days from 5 through to 29. A great deal of work is being done to ensure that we have sufficient resilience both to deal with our Olympic operations in Manchester and to maintain our existing levels of service to the public. The good news for us is that our mutual aid spending is funded from that £600 million National Olympic Security and Safety budget, which means we can bring additional officers in to replace those working out of the force area.